This is one of Chopin's major compositions in one movement for piano, right there with the 4 ballads. Barcarolle is a Venetian boat song, and we have a lot of shimmering water sounds, blurring harmonies with a lot of pedal, and a constant motion in the left hand of going up and down and back and forth as the gondolas make their ways through the water. This is truly a remarkable piece, one of my Chopin favorites, especially how it fits together so seamlessly. There are clearly different sections in the piece, but they all change into each other so organically. So when I'm practicing it, I have a hard time to stop and focus on just one part of it, because the music wants to keep on moving all the time, just like water in a canal, constantly transforming itself into larger and smaller sections. Now this is the signal that the piece is starting, and Chopin hints right away about the scope of the piece, all the way from the deep bottom to the high melodic register. And now we have this trickling down with chords over F-sharp tonality. And a pause. And then the piece starts again, but now soft, setting the scene for a small canal instead. This is going back and forth, swaying on the water here. Then the melody enters, cantabile, singable, very simple and straightforward, a kind melody. Paradoxically, it's one of the hardest places in the piece to get the balance right, to get the top voice of these thirds as the melody. But when you do find the perfect balance, it's like a completely fulfilled life just staying in that character. This is a B major, that's the pleasant backyard chord in relation to F sharp major, the subdominant. And here we go to a minor chord, so a tinge of sadness here. And the melody is now in 6 instead of thirds. To the happy place with this so much light in the music here. Growing a bit and reaching up here, and then we have this amazing trickle down motion, like water has been thrown up in there and comes down again. Then a switch from major to minor. Now this is another little episode in the minor, and I'm just gonna play the episode and you can listen and follow how the music rises and falls back and the harmony is constantly shifting slightly. this trill turns into a double trill. Which then turns into a repeat of the theme in forte and a bit fuller and thicker chords. Now this harmony change is quite spectacular because the harmony we eventually end up on, F sharp major here, it comes as a kind of surprise from the previous chord. So it's called a deceptive cadence. But F sharp major, we still remember it as our home key from all the previous music before. It's in F sharp major. So it's like a surprise party when you're coming home. All your friends have gathered in the dark and then the lights go on. So lovely music. Here before we got a little episode in minor, but now we get continue in the major with a lovely ninth chord to grow some more. And then when we reach the final ascent here, we go down in dynamic level but up in the register. Like when you drive up a hill, you go slower and slower when you reach the higher level. And pause for maximum effect. Deep breath. And then we're back in the forte feeling. And trickling down. Then the same switch from major to minor. And here starts the next section in the piece. There is no clear break to separate them. It's all the time seamless. Transition to A major, a new tonality here. And we have this section now for a whole page where it's just smooth sailing through calm waters. Chopin delicacy there. This is an interesting chord, this D with the C sharp bass. It's like we can't let it go because it comes two times. Like, we have to explore it fully. And then we grow into a repeat of the whole section, but now in forte. So like more winds in the sail, richer and fuller chords. Interesting chord again. into the third theme of the piece. So we're again back in the feeling of like being content with life. Poco più mosso is slightly faster, and it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek with the old cheeky +5 chords here. Just evaporates in thin air, and then it comes down to earth with this trill here. And here starts yet another new section of the piece. It's kind of a development section, but a quite short development because we've had a lot of material already. And also the chord changes are more distinct here compared to before. Before it's more with this watering everything together, but now it's a little more clear. And it's really Chopin's genius at work, because this is leading up to the absolute best part of the piece. Well, one of the best parts. It's a lot of best parts. It's like we don't really know where we are here. We're searching, we cannot lose our way. And right when we think we're lost here, Chopin takes us home and brings us to heaven with this wonderful aria. It's so amazing, this bass. Dolce is sweetly, and sfogato is a very rare marking. The Italian word means something like vent or relieve. And I once played this in a masterclass for an Italian professor. When I got to this place, he asked me something like, when are you most relieved in life? Like, when are you most empty in a good way? So if this was a movie, it would be R-rated because of this scene. Because that's how close classical music can get our human experience. Really coming that close. There is a way that the music can show you the heaven. Because there is real heaven in the music in these parts. But I have to put it there when I play the music. Like, go all the way. And it's very hard to do that, especially when you're performing the piece. It's like when it's being so close to beauty, perfection, then it's easy to break it. If just one note is too strong or too soft. Yeah. Then here we get another one of these amazing transitions back to the first theme again. Now we have it in octaves in the left hand, so fuller and richer and more power. ascent. Now we get it with crescendo instead, because the last time we had it diminuendo, but now. Pause. Okay, let's take a moment to consider the large structure of the piece. We started with a simple melody in the beginning, and we had it 2 times. Then there was a smooth sailing, also 2 times, that led into the 3rd theme of the piece. Then there was the development section that led back to the 1st theme as a recapitulation that we just had here. Now what follows is the 3rd theme one more time, but staying in F sharp major. Before it was in A major. So this is like the climax of the piece with the 3rd theme. And then we have a spectacular coda to consolidate the energy that is being released here in the climax. But these large scale forms is remarkable for this piece. The Barcarolle and also the ballads have similar forms of different sections fitting together in a kind of a new way. Chopin explores this and goes further than the classical sonata form in these amazing ways. Also, this climax section is really hard for the left hand. All these fast chord jumps. I have to practice it slowly for a long time to really get the positions kind of hardwired into the muscle memory of the left hand. That's how I do it. So you can have. Yeah, a lot to do going on there. As a transitional element that we've had quite many times in the piece. And then the coda, it's a wide range in the piano with F sharp in the bass as a pedal point for a long time. And then really grasping and like tearing in the harmonies, like taking them for all they're worth, these harmonies. Motive from the sailing part before, some element of that in this melodic. Trilling bonanza. Final run to as a final ventilation of all this energy again. And then this amazing moment. It's like when the sun comes out after a heavy storm and the rain and the clouds are gone and it's completely still in the air and you have this freshness of this. Then it's like an ornamentation fantasy, the last bit. The left hand plays some very safe and warm chorale chords, like this. Then we add the fantasy in the right hand. then for the very ending, it's quite a humorous ending. We finish on this super tender place up here. But then Chopin takes us down to earth again with a scale over the whole keyboard and ending it very firmly instead. Now I think I've said all that I have to say about this piece. So please enjoy listening to it in full and just float along of the seamless stream of shifting harmonies that is Chopin's Barcarolle in F-sharp major.